This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening. How's everybody? Hey, Ned. Yes. So first of
What's
all,
up, man? I can hear
Ned,
today.
yes, Ned has joined us. He passed his math exam, and I had asked him to speak to the class, and he was like, no, that's not me. But today he is here. So if today he is here, he must summed up the courage to say, let me help someone else. So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna let him speak for a couple minutes.
Absolutely. And I don't want to hide anything, but I do have a surprise for the class. And I promise you it won't be difficult. But anyway, high GED education students. The reason I address you all like that, because I've been dealing with this here for a very long time. I supposed to have graduated like 1970, or 69. So it's been 52 years up until August the 8th, 2022, that I've been dealing with this. And I thank God so much for people like Mr. Tindley and the other educators that I have been associated with. You all have been a blessing in my life. And that's all I want to say, but I do have a math problem.
You have a math problem?
I have a math problem. You have hooked me, Mr. Tindley. You have hooked me with this math. So if you all want to try, and there's two operations to this problem, but you can or you don't have to. Okay, here's my problem. Today I am 25,441 days old. Currently, how old am I? So if you got that,
you said 20. You said 25,441
420 days old as of today. I mean, days old. So how old am I today? And it's two operations. I don't want to give you no hint, but I give away. Two operations.
First of all, my calculator is not opening, so hold on. Let me see. Calculator. I'm gonna have to open up another one. You said, I don't know what's going on with my computer. Oh, come on.
Well, I got one booting up right now, and it is still.
You said 25,421.
4,041 days old as of today.
25,000. Huh?
25,441 days old. Currently, how old am I today? So you know I'm not a teenager.
Let's see.
59.
I'm sorry?
59.
Not 59.
Not 59, Earl. Hey, good job though. I wish.
Close.
I wish.
You're about a decade off.
Okay.
Decade off.
So for example, with this problem, it's funny that you say this. How could you solve this problem? If he said he was 25,461 days old.
441 days.
441. Oh, 441.
65.
No. See,
70.
he gave you the answer pretty much. If Earl was a decade off, if you heard what Earl said, that's
59.
right. I heard the 9 part.
59.
No. So what you want to do is you take the number of days. He said 25,441. So you want to take, you want to know how old you are, right? So if you want to know
Correct.
years, it's very easy. All you got to do is divide by the number of days in a year. So it's 365 days in a year.
Absolutely.
So when you divide by 365, you'll get 69 point something, right? So if you want to hit,
69.7.
if you, right, 69.7. But if you want the actual days, then you want to take the remainder. So you take that 69, you multiply by 365, and you'll get how many days so far 69 years would be and how many is left. So it's 276 days. So that means he actually has a birthday coming up very soon.
Absolutely.
Next year.
Like three, hold on, like what? What's that about? So 266 is about 3, that's 90, about three months.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
yep. So again, math is everywhere, every single day. I love it, I love it, love it. And this is the thing. So when he called me up, he said, listen, I've been out of school for a while, and this math was giving me some problems. But what did he say? He said, I am 69 years old. The math problem that he gave us today, he is 69 years old. What he's saying is there's no age. Age is not even part of the equation.
Mm-mm.
When you decide that you want something, and he decided, I want my diploma, and I'm going to work hard to get that diploma. So even though, because I talked to my wife, I was like, I told her about it, told her about you. He's like, well, if he's probably retired, he doesn't need his diploma. It doesn't matter. This is a goal that he set for himself. And he didn't let age, he didn't let the intimidation of younger classmates, right? Because I understand, I used to work in an adult education center. So I understand the difficulty sometimes with working with younger people.
Mm.
So for you to be able to accomplish that at 69 years old, first of all, is accomplishment. So I want to give you a hand.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. But the other message is, if he can do it,
We all can do it.
you can do it.
Mhm.
And
I'm
that's why,
64.
and that's why I think he decided to come on tonight to give some people some encouragement that if I can do it at 69 years old, you can do it.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So let's go over some. I like that math problem too. So first of all, I know, hold on. Kelly has some questions about system of equations, a little word problem. Earl had a question about finding equation of a line that's parallel. And did anybody else have any other questions they want me to take on tonight?
Probability.
Probability. Oh my goodness. Probability.
Yes.
Listen. Oh my goodness. All right. So let's look at this one first. It says your teacher is giving a test worth 100 points containing 40 questions. There are 2-point and 4-point questions on the exam. How many of each type of question are there on the test? Okay. Wow. How would you even start this problem? Did anybody know? How would you even start this problem? And again, this is a system of equations. So let me ask you a question. How do you know it's a system of equations? Do you even know that's a system of equations? Because sometimes that's the hard part, identifying what type of each question, what concept, mathematical concept. Does anybody know how you can tell this is a system of equations?
But you got 2 questions?
No, you only got
Two-
one
two-
question.
Two, how we gotta put it? 2 problems of two equations. You got the 100 and the 40. You got the 2 points and the 4-point questions.
So you have 2 unknowns and you have 2 equations. So the first thing you got to remember is a linear equation can have 1 variable and a linear equation can have 2 variables. So first of all, that's one of the first steps, identifying your two variables. So we're just going to use X and Y. Could we use A and B? Could we use C and D? Could we use S and T? We can use any variable we want. For our purposes, we're going to use the most common variables used in algebra, X and Y. What should X stand for? What should X
It's
and
the
Y
unknown.
stand for?
The X is the unknown.
Right, but what should X and Y stand for in this question?
Okay, I think test should be your X.
So test, what about test do you need to know?
I need to know. I need to know. It's the unknown.
So they are unknowns,
But my 100
but
points.
your variables should stand for something. So in this question, identify your givens first. Always listen. I can't say it more than enough. When you start a problem, identify the givens. Identify what they're giving you first. So what's the first piece of information they're giving us?
100 points.
100
A
points.
test worth 100 points. What?
Containing 40 questions.
Containing 40 questions. What's the second piece of information that's given to us?
There are 2 points and 4 points questions.
There are 2 point and 4 point questions. That's where you start right there. That's how you be able to say, okay, well, what my variables going to stand for? So right away, it has nothing to do with the 100 or the 40. What we're saying is two types of questions. They're X and Y, and we don't know how many 2-point questions there are, and we don't know how many 4-point questions there are. So that's how you identify what your unknowns are. So we're going to say X is our 2-point questions. And my Y is my 4-point questions. Sorry about the handwriting on the screen. Now, we don't know how many 2-point questions there are. We don't know how many 4-point questions there are, but we do know, there's how many questions?
40.
So X number 2-point questions plus the number of 4-point questions equal 40. That's our first equation. Does everybody understand how I got that first equation from this word problem?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now the second is that they're each worth 2 and some questions are worth 4. But what do we know about all of the points? All together is going to be what?
100 points.
100 points. So we know that the number of questions, X times 2, right? Because 2 points for each question. So if there's 10 questions worth 2 points, you would have 20 total points. So 2X plus 4Y equal 100. Why? Because the 2-point and 4-point questions. So remember, X and Y stand for the number of questions, not the points, the number of questions. So if there was 10 2-point questions, then it would be 10 times 2. So the total amount of points would be 20 points. Everybody understand that?
Right.
What is our next step?
I think, don't we have to get the Y by itself?
Mm-hmm.
No, the 2 by itself. 2X by itself.
Okay.
So
Can you get the Y by itself? Yes. Can you get the X by itself? Yes. But that's a method called substitution. Substitution can be a little bit more difficult to me.
So
I don't like.
Can we
So-
multiply each number by 2?
Why 2?
Because you're trying to get the X by itself, right? Well, that's what I was thinking. I'm trying to eliminate that.
So you're trying to eliminate a variable. Doesn't matter which one. So
Okay.
if you're trying to get rid of X, we have X and 2X, right? What's the opposite of 2X?
Division, dividing.
Okay. What's the opposite of 2X?
Negative.
Negative
Negative
2x.
what? Negative 2X. So that's the first thing you got to understand. What is the opposite of everything? So opposite of 2X is minus 2X. So what would we have to multiply that first equation by in order for that first term to be minus 2X?
X. Negative X.
Okay, so if I multiply by negative X, you would have negative X squared.
Okay, so I had to multiply by 2x, negative 2x.
Not net. So if we multiply by negative 2x, we would have negative 2x squared.
So I should multiply by,
Watch this. I'm gonna make it real simple. You told me the opposite of 2x is minus 2x, correct?
right,
What do I have to multiply this first equation by for this first term to be minus 2x? You already got an x there.
negative 2.
Negative 2. So the first thing you want to do is be able to eliminate a variable. The second thing you want to do is which variable do I want to eliminate? Doesn't matter. You could decide, I could have multiplied the first equation by minus 4 to get rid of the y. It doesn't matter what variable you want to get rid of, but you got to get rid of one of them. Okay, so if I multiply this first equation by 2, what's minus 2 times x?
2x, negative 2x.
Negative 2x. So we got to distribute this negative 2. What's negative 2 times y?
Negative 2y.
Negative 2y. And what is negative 2 times 40?
Negative 80.
Negative 80. You didn't make an error with them sign numbers. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. The second equation, we're just going to keep it the same. 2x plus 4y equal 100. So now what you should see is automatically, you'll see one of the variables will cancel each other out. Let me change my color to blue here. You should see as you combine these equations that those two terms cancel each other out. What is 4y minus 2y?
Negative 2, no, 2y.
2y. Bring down that equal. What's 100 minus 80?
20.
20.
Positive.
Okay. In order to get y by itself, what do I need to do?
You need to subtract 20 from both sides.
Listen, I don't need you rushing in. Listen to that. In order to get the y by itself, what do I need to do?
Divide 2 from each side.
And Brandy, what did you say?
I said divide.
Divide by what?
2.
Divide by 2. Divide both sides by 2. The 2's cancel. You get y equal. What's 20 divided by 2?
10.
10. So you know, what does y stand for again?
Your y-intercept?
What? No, see, you rushing in.
Oh, okay.
In this system of equations, what does the variable y stand for? And anybody can answer. What does the variable y stand for in this system of equations? What do we say our two variables stood for? That's the first thing we did.
4 points. How many?
Yes. The number of questions, the number of 4-point questions. So there were 10 4-point questions, right? If there are 40 questions altogether, how many 2-point questions are there?
30.
30. Now, we can do that mentally, but let me just save it and let's check it to make sure. This is where, let me erase this. Here, we got y equal 10. So all we do is plug into one of these equations. I'm going to use the first one. That's the easiest one. X plus y. So instead of y, I'm going to put 10 because y is 10. So I'm substituting that y as 10. X plus 10 equals 40. Now, this is a one-step algebraic equation. Subtract 10 from both sides.
Right.
10's cancel, bring down my equal. 40 minus 10 is 30. Now, we did that. We were able to do that mentally by ourselves, but that's how you do it algebraically. So the number of 2-point questions is 30. The number of 4-point questions is 10. And that's how you would solve this system of equations. Okay? Kelly, did that help you out? Kelly, Kelly. Now, what I'm about to show you what the GED is going to do. They're going to give you a system of equations, but they're going to give you the multiple choice. What we did, we just solved it algebraically. But what we do know, there's 40 questions. So let's look at the multiple choice. So 10 point, 10 2-point, 34 points. So 10 plus 30 is 40. 15 plus 25 is 40. 10 plus 30 is 40. 20 plus 20 is 40. So we know all 4 multiple choice satisfy that first equation, that they have 40 questions. Does everybody understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's use common sense. We know that the total points is 100 points, right? So what's 10 times 2 points?
20.
How many? 20. So that's 20 points. What's 30 times 4 points?
120.
120. But how many points do we need? What's the number of points? 100. So if it's 20
100.
points here and 120 points here, can A be an option?
No.
No. Okay, what's 15 times 2?
30.
30. What's 25 times 4?
100.
100. Well, again, we went over 100 points. It can't be B. Let's look at C. What's 10 times 4 points?
40.
40. And what's 30 times 2 points?
60.
Okay, what's 40 plus 60?
1.
That's no algebra. I'm done. I'm done. That's without doing any algebra. Using the multiple choice to solve this system of equations. Just substitute each value in and you'll be able to solve a system of equations. Everybody got me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, the second problem was, Earl, you wanted in the book, correct?
Right.
Let me see. So it says passes through minus 8, 1, and is parallel to y equal 3/2 x minus 5. They want to know the equation of a line which is parallel. The first thing you're going to do is, what do you know about parallel lines?
It's the same as it's the same as same as what is it? How could I say this? Parallel, it's the same slope as parallel and perpendicular, is it?
Nope, you was on the right track and then you just took a U-turn. Can anybody tell me something they know about parallel lines?
Aren't they going the same direction?
And the side by side, yeah.
That
They could be side by side, but what's the most important thing you need to know about parallel
Opposite
lines?
direction. Opposite direction.
No, well, two lines go, a line goes forever in both directions.
Right.
Right?
They're identical. They have the same slope.
That's what I'm looking for. Who said that? Who said that?
Kelly,
Kelly. So I'm gonna write it down. This is very important. Parallel lines have the same slope. Okay. So when they give you the information, when they said passes through minus 8, 1 and is parallel to, see, that is the important part of this problem. It told you it's parallel. So if I know they have the same slope, what is the slope of this equation here?
3/2.
3/2. So I already know that among my multiple choice, I'm looking for y equal 3/2 x, something else. Now, if it's multiple choice, if there's only one equation that starts with y equal 3/2 x, you're done. You don't have to do any work. But if they all say y equal 3/2 x, or more than one has y equal 3/2 x, we need to find the y-intercept. So what we're going to do is y equal mx plus b. Then we're going to identify. Remember, I told you the most important step when you're solving and taking this math test and you're solving these problems, identify what's given. So they gave us an equation of a line and they gave us a point. When they give us a point, what are they giving us?
You're giving an X and a Y.
They're giving an X and a Y. So now I have an X, a Y, and I have an M. So now remember, the purpose of solving an algebraic equation for up to now is we only have one unknown, B. So now we're going to substitute everything else in. What is Y?
Y should be 1.
Y should be 1, equal. So listen, I'm just substituting into this equation. 1 equal. What is my slope? What's M?
3 over 2.
3 over 2. Because they're being multiplied, I'm going to put parentheses. What's X?
X is -8.
-8. Now, if you notice, I took that whole number, I changed it into an improper fraction. The reason why I did that is because most people make a mistake when they're multiplying fractions and they don't realize that a whole number can be changed to an improper fraction. Any whole number can be changed to an improper fraction by putting it over 1. Everybody understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
plus B. So now you can use your calculator. I don't care. I want you to use your calculator as much as you can. So I want you to multiply 3/2 times -8 and tell me what you get. What is 3/2 times -8?
-12.
-12. Did anybody else get anything different than -12? Are we sure that's right? -12.
-24.
You got -24. Okay. -24. Anybody else? Okay, so let's first of all, let's do it by hand. I'm gonna do it down here, then I'll erase it. 3/2 times -8 over 1. You could multiply across. 3 times -8 is -24. 2 times 1 is 2. So Brandy, that's the mistake you made. You got the -24, but you forgot to multiply the 2 over 1. That's why I made it improper fraction, because that's the biggest mistake most people make when they're multiplying a fraction by a whole number. They forget.
I thought you were just asking what 3 times -8 was. I didn't know.
Okay. So -12, that's one way you could do it, right? That's one way. Now me, I wouldn't, you can do it that way. To me, I see 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 4 times, then I multiply across. 3 times -4 is -12. So that's another way you couldn't got a -12. And the last way, because I don't want you making mistakes. Do not make mistakes. If you can use your calculator for most of this exam, use it. Don't let sign numbers cause you to get a problem wrong. So you know what?
But to get it the way I did it, I would have to take the 2 about a 24, and then that's how I would have got -12, right? Okay.
Right, yes.
So I wasn't wrong. It just was
Correct. So ND, 3 over 2 times, remember, you got to get out of that fraction by hitting that right arrow, times -8. Because my expression either starts with a negative or it's in parentheses, I got to use that negative next to enter. I also could have got -12. So again, what I want you to do is when you're doing this work by hand, also check it with your calculator. Like you need to get in the habit of almost every calculation you do, check it by using your calculator. Okay, so we got -12. Let me go back to my red. I was at black. Plus B. How can I get B by itself? What do I need to do?
Add 12 to both sides.
Add 12 to both sides. Then I'm going to combine them. What's 1 plus 12?
13.
13. The 12 cancel. I bring down my B. So when I see that B is equal to 13, what is B? B is the variable for what?
Y.
No, not the Y.
Oh, for your M intercept.
Definitely not for the M. No.
No, your
M
Y
is your slope.
intercept.
Your Y intercept. You must remember this. Your Y and your Y intercept are not the same thing.
Okay.
Your Y intercept is where the line crosses the Y axis. So that means this line is going to cross at 0, 13. So all I do is remember y equal mx plus b. M is my slope, b is my y-intercept. So I just add 13. So my equation that is parallel to y equal 3/2 x minus 5 and passes through minus 8, 1 is y equal 3/2 x plus 13. Okay.
See
Now, they usually give you one or the other. So let's try perpendicular. First of all, let me just say this. Does anybody have any questions? Something they don't understand on this type of problem? Because you're going to get one of these. Either they're going to ask you for the equation of the parallel line, or they're going to ask you for the equation of perpendicular line. They're probably going to give you one. Okay, so let's try perpendicular. Now, all these, if you have the ebook, you can do it on your calculator. So I show you an easy way to do it on your calculator. So let's try this by hand. Passes through 3, 1, and it's perpendicular to 3x plus 10. So the key word is perpendicular. We have a point which gives us the x and the y, and they give us an equation. Always identify your givens. Now, from that equation, what is the slope?
should be -1/3.
Nope. From this
1/3.
equation, what is the slope? Can anybody help me?
Oh, 3.
3.
3.
The equation of this line is 3. So because we know the equation of this line, what is the equation of the slope of any line that's perpendicular to this line? What's the slope of any
-3.
Not -3.
1/3. -1/3.
-1/3. Remember, we got to change and flip to find the slope of the perpendicular. So this is where many people make the mistake. Remember, 3 is the same as 3/1. So when we want to find the slope of the perpendicular, so the slope of this line is positive. So we change the sign, so we get a negative, and we flip it. We take the reciprocal, 1/3. So the slope of the perpendicular line is -1/3. So this is why I made those flashcards, and this is why I made the assignments in the ebook. So you should be able to tell the slope of a parallel line given an equation, and you should be able to find the slope of a perpendicular line given an equation. Why? Because of the multiple choice, say the multiple choice was this: y equal 3x minus 5, y equal 1/3 x plus 10, y equal -3x minus 7, y equal -1/3 x, whatever, plus 5. We didn't figure this one out, but I'm just saying. If they said, find a number that's perpendicular, once you found this slope and you found the slope was 3, you should know the perpendicular is -1/3. That means any equation must start with y equal -1/3 x. Bang, bang, bang. The only option here is D. You don't have to do anymore. A lot of times people go through all these steps. You have to know what you're looking for. This is why in the ebook, I give you find the slope of the line first, find the slope of the perpendicular next. So you know already from the beginning what your equations should look like. Now, okay, so let me erase this. Let me save it and let me erase it. Now, I don't know if this is the equation. I was just saying if they gave you multiple choice. Now, watch this. So I know the slope of my perpendicular line. Matter of fact, I forgot already. What's the slope of my perpendicular line? I forgot that quick.
-1/3.
-1/3. So guess what? This is what you should remember. I can find the equation of any line if I know the slope and I know a point. We've been doing it over and over again. It's the same thing. So we're going to start with y equal mx plus b. What's my y?
Your y is 1.
My y is 1. Where did you get that from, Earl?
From the point.
from the point. The point is going to give you the x and the y. Equal. What's the slope?
1/3.
No, not 1/3.
Negative 1/3. I'm sorry.
Negative 1/3. And what's x?
3.
3. So again, I'm going to change it to an improper fraction so I won't make any mistakes. What happens to the 2 3s right here?
Cancel out.
They cancel out because 3 over 3 is 1. So they cancel each other out. So I get 1 equal negative 1 plus b. In order to get the b by itself, what do I need to do?
Add 1 to both sides.
Add 1 to both sides. I then combine it. 1 plus 1 is what?
2.
Bring down my equal. The 1 and negative 1 cancel. I bring down my b. I now know my slope is negative 1/3. I know my y-intercept is 2. What's going to be my equation of the line that is perpendicular to 3x plus 10 and passes through 3, 1?
Negative 1.
Oh. Stop playing. What if linear
Y.
equation?
Y equals negative 1/3 plus 2.
No. Oh. Somebody help him. What did he forget?
X. I'm sorry. X. Plus 2.
Plus 2. Listen, you're going to have that problem. You're going to have one of those. You might have 2. Somebody told me they just took a test. They passed. She said, I had 10 linear equation problems. And she did all of them with the calculator. She said, Mr. Tinsley, matter of fact, I need to put her name up. I'll probably give her a little congratulations. I'll probably put it up either tonight or tomorrow. But she said, I had 10 linear equations, Mr. Tinsley. She said, I used the calculator for all of them. She said, I finished in an hour. She scored a 160. She finished in an hour. She had an hour left. Listen, if you purchase the ebook, make sure you can do the problems for linear equations with the calculator. It will save you a bunch of time. Make sure you know how to store a variable in this calculator, because if you got multiple choice, you just plug half the answers in. I'm just telling you, I'm trying to give you a heads up. So I know the book is long, it takes you time. Listen, I'm telling you, it'll be worth the wait, because this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna finish ahead of time, and then the enormous joy that you're gonna feel when you pass this test. You're gonna call me up and you're going to say, this was the best $19.99 I ever spent in my entire life. Telling you, I'm giving you a secret. All right, so now, so that was, again, so this exercise here is to make sure you understand how you go back and forth, depending upon what they give you. So if the slope is 4, what's the slope of the parallel line?
Negative 4.
If the slope is 4, what's the slope of the parallel line?
It's the same slope.
If the slope is 4, what's the slope of the parallel line?
4.
4. You should be able to answer that question instantly. If you can't, you need to go through the ebook and do these problems. You should know the slope of parallel lines have the same slope. So now, if the slope is 4, what's the slope of a perpendicular line? Now listen, what I need you to understand, we're not talking about a specific line. We're talking about a bunch of lines. Remember, if you got one line that's y equal 4x plus 3, for example, y equal 4x plus 3. My slope is 4. Well, what's the slope that's parallel to that? Well, the same thing. Y equal 4x minus 5. These two lines are parallel because they have the same slope. It's that easy. It's that easy, but you have to know it. Parallel lines have the same slope. I don't care if you write it down 20 times like you did back in the day. I don't care if you put flashcards. 2 things you should know. Parallel lines have the same slope. To find the slope of the perpendicular line, you take the negative inverse. Mr. Tinsley, what are all these math terms? The negative inverse. Layman's terms, change the sign and flip. So what would be the slope of any perpendicular line to if the slope is 4?
-1/4.
-1/4. Why? Because remember, 4 is the same as 4/1. So if I flip it, I got 1/4. So I just change the sign, positive to negative, flip it, 1/4. These things you should be able to do instantaneously. Like I can look at this and I say, slope of a parallel line, 3/2, -2/3. That's how fast you should be able to do it. If you can't, you need to practice. And that's for any concept in math. Once you have it down, you should be able to walk through a problem. It doesn't matter. Like I had a young lady, she did this problem. She took algebra. She's doing 1-step and 2-step problems, right? And they did this to her. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna give you an example. So the problem was like something like, I need a blank page. It said, and this is being confident in what you're doing. So it said 2x plus 3 equal 9. Okay. How do I solve for x? What do I need to do first? This is a 2-step algebraic equation. How would I solve this problem?
You -3 on both sides.
You're gonna subtract 3 on both sides. You get 2x, the 3's cancel, equal 9 minus 3 is 6. What's the next step?
Divide 2.
Divide by what? Right, divide both sides by 2.
Yeah.
You get x equal 3. So what happened was she said, Mr. Tinsley, she was doing problems like this left and right. Oh, she was knocking them out. Then she got a problem like this. And she didn't know how to do it. So I want to make sure tonight, these small things we know how to do. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is do what? If we're going to solve for x, what's the first thing we're going to do?
We're gonna put -3 on both sides to get rid of the cancel out the 3's.
We're going to subtract 3 from both sides, and we get 2/3 x. 3's cancel, equal 3. This is where she got stuck. She didn't know what to do. Again, identify what you know. What does 2/3 mean? 2/3 means x times 2, then I'm going to divide by 3. That's all a fraction means. Multiply by the numerator, then divide by the denominator. That's all a fraction is. For example, 8 times 1/2. Watch this. I'm going to show you. 8 times 1 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I multiply first, then I divide it. That's all a fraction is. So what's the opposite of multiplying by 2?
Dividing.
Dividing by 2. What's the opposite of dividing by 3?
Multiplying.
So look what I just did. Again, math is about patterns. Look what I did. What is 3/2 compared to 2/3? What magical mathematical term is that called?
Reciprocal.
Reciprocal. So if you have a fraction as a coefficient, you can multiply by the reciprocal. So if I multiply this side by 3/2, I'm going to multiply this side by what?
3/2.
3/2. So the 3's cancel, the 2's cancel. I'm left with x equal 3 times 3 is, remember, this is can be changed to an improper fraction. 3 times 3 is what?
9.
9. 1 times 2 is what?
2. 1.
2. What is not? What'd you say?
2.
2. What's 9 divided by 2?
4.5.
You should know anything divided by 2 is a half. It's either going to be a half or a whole. Any whole number divided by 2, either going to have another whole number or something 0.5. That's your answer, 4.5. Okay, I'm not sure. What did I always tell you to do? Plug it in and check your work. Doesn't matter whether you make a mistake, find out what your mistake is. So 2/3 times 4.5 plus 3. Oops, I don't know what I just typed in. 4.5 plus 3. When I hit enter, if 4.5 was right, what should I get?
4.5.
No, what should I get?
4. Right.
What should I get?
6.
Because whatever's on one side, that's what an equal means. So whatever number that I put for X, substitute for X, if that's correct, I should get 6 on the other side. Let's hit enter. Did I get 6? Always check your work. So let me make this a little bit bigger. I don't know if you can see that or not. Always check your work. You can be unsure about an answer, but what I want you to understand is you can't be scared to make mistakes. If you make a mistake and you check your work and you're wrong, then you can go back and find out, where did I make that mistake? Okay, so again, if you have a fraction, let's try another problem. Let me see. 3/4 minus 3/4 X plus 6 is equal to 15. Okay, let's try this one. Let's see if we can solve this. And Earl, what I'm going to ask you to do is, what do you think I'm going to ask you to do, Earl?
I don't know.
Shh, for a second. Let's see if someone else
All right.
can tell me
All
the
right.
steps to solve this problem. All right, so I'm going to change my color to red, first of all. Minus 3/4 X plus 6 equal to 15. Can anybody tell me the first step that I'm going to do to solve for X?
Subtract 6 from both sides.
Subtract 6 from both sides. Very good. So I'm going to bring down my minus 3/4 X. My 6's cancel each other out. I'm going to bring down my equal. What is 15 minus 6?
9.
9. So I need to get X by itself. What should I do to get X all by itself?
Multiply by 4.
Multiply by 4. That's it.
On one, whatever you do on one side, you got to do on the other side.
So you just multiplying by 4 first. Okay, let's see what we get. So the 2 4's cancel. We get minus 3X equal 36. What's my next step?
Divide by 3.
Nope.
Negative 3.
Divide by negative 3. The negative 3 is canceled. We get X equal what's 36 minus 3. What's 36
-12.
divided by negative 12? Now let's check our work. Let's see if we're right. So minus 3/4 times negative 12 over 1 plus 6 is equal to 15. So 4 going to 4 one time, 4 going to 12 3 times. Minus 3 times minus 3 is going to give you a positive 9. Plus 6 is equal to 15. 9 plus 6 is 15, equal 15. We are correct. Our answer is correct. Now, you could have just plugged it in using your calculator, but I wanted to show you by hand. Now, I would have did it a little different. But she was right. What she said was, okay, I want to get rid of that 4 first. So the opposite dividing by 4 is multiplying by 4. Whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. Then she said, I have minus 3X still left. So in order to get that X by itself, I need to divide by negative 3. So what she did was she did it in 2 steps. Okay, now I probably did it like this. Let me show you the difference. Now, again, there's more than one way to skin a cat. If you're comfortable doing it that way, do it that way. Okay, again, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Now, I would have did it like this. I would have said, let me change my color to red. I need to get rid of this negative 3/4, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna multiply it by negative 4/3. Why? Because 2 negatives make a positive. Remember, I want X to be positive X, not negative X. So I need to multiply by a negative the negative reciprocal. Why? Because this is negative already, and two negatives make a positive. Whatever I do to one side, I'm gonna do the other. That's after after I subtracted this 6 here. So let me do that first. So we got minus 3/4 x equal 9 multiplied by negative 4/3. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Okay, 4's cancels, 3's cancel. Two negatives make a positive. X equal negative 36 over 3. X equal negative 12. I did a few steps, but did we get the same answer? Yes, it doesn't matter. But again, if they have fractions, if they have decimals, let me ask you another question, young lady. Y equal 0.003x minus 1.5. What's the slope?
0.003.
0.003. What's my y-intercept?
1.5, negative 1.5.
Negative 1.5. It does not matter if you have decimals, fractions. When you see that y equal, whatever in front of that x is your slope. Whatever's left is your y-intercept. Now, another mistake that I saw this right here. And I think the young lady's on the call right now. I'm not 100% sure. Minus y plus 3y minus 9 equals 0. What's the slope? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Negative 3y.
Nope.
Minus y.
Nope.
9.
Nope.
1.
0.
Nope. So let me show you. First of all, I showed you two ways you can easily find a slope. Two forms. Y equal mx plus b and ax plus by equals c. So this is slope intercept. This is standard. Okay, so for me, I want to get y by itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add y to both sides. So now I get 3y minus 9 equal y. Remember, it's an equal. Don't matter what order you put it in. Y equal 3. Oops, I meant to say x. I'm sorry. Lord, look at me. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. That's supposed to have been an x. That's supposed to have been an x. Sorry about that. So that changed the whole thing. No wonder nobody could get it right. So again, this started out as minus y plus 3x minus 9. Two things you can do. You can add y to both sides. So you get y equal 3x minus 9. Then it's easy to tell what the slope is. What's the slope now?
3x.
No, not 3x.
3.
3. What's my y-intercept?
Negative 9.
Negative 9.
Negative 9. Okay, so that's one way. And what happens is, now I haven't seen that too much on the GD, but the high setting task, I've seen that a whole lot. Now, the next thing we could do is, let me show you. I'm gonna erase this. And then I want to make this equation look like standard form. Again, listen, I gave you the easy ways to find slope from slope intercept form and standard form. So that's what we need to change our equations to. If it's not in one of those forms, we can't do all those things I told you to do. So ax plus by equals c. So what we're going to do here is, now I'm going to, let me change my color, change the blue. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. And I get minus y plus 3x equal 9. Well, still not ax plus by equals c. So I'm going to change the order. 3x minus y equal 9. So all I did, remember your properties. Very important that you understand your properties. It doesn't matter the order in which you multiply. It doesn't matter the order in which you add numbers. It doesn't matter. So I just changed the order. Now, slope equal minus a over b. So negative 3 over negative 1. My slope is 3. To find my y-intercept, C over B. 9 over -1. Did we still get the same slope? 3. Did we still get the same y-intercept? Yes. Just remember, a linear equation isn't always in standard form. A linear equation isn't always in slope-intercept form. What I gave you was shortcuts if they were given in slope-intercept form, if they're given in standard form. So what you need to be able to do is modify the equation to be in one of those forms. Then you can easily find a slope and y-intercept. Everybody understand that? And that, and yep. Man, that was the fastest hour ever. Wow. It's something else I wanted to show you too. Where was it? Where was it? Was it this one? Oh, yes. I've been seeing, or what I've been hearing from students that have been taking the exam, is they've been having a lot of word problems with inequalities. Okay. They're not asking you to solve this inequality. They're just asking you which inequality represents that paragraph for information. Okay. So again, where do we start? Identify the givens. So she has a budget of $13.25. Annie is planning a business meeting for a company. She has a budget of $13.25. What does a budget mean? Can I spend more than $13.25?
No.
So what options can I get rid of immediately?
The ones that are greater than.
Right.
The ones that are greater than. Which ones are those?
B.
A and C.
A and C. So listen, right away, without even doing anything, just understanding that she has a budget of $13.25. That means she can't spend more than $13.25. So whatever she spends must be less than or equal to $13.25. So even if you didn't know how to do it inequality, and you just improved your chances to 50%, even if you guessed, you got a 50-50 chance. Now, the next thing, it says, next thing, what else do we know? She expects 20 people to attend the meeting. The cost of renting the meeting room is $270. Is $270 going to change at all, no matter how many people are there?
Nope.
No. So it's not going to change. It's not going to be attached to a variable. So what answer do we know it is?
B.
B. Done. I'm done. 30 seconds.
That's what I said.
That's just going through the problem and identifying what they're giving you. And that's why in Schoology, I started including so many more word problems. Listen, practice, 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 because when you take the real test, listen to what I'm telling you. A 60 on my exam, you will knock the GED out. If you got an 80, on one of my practice GED exams, and listen, you need to schedule that one-on-one with me and go schedule that exam. I'm gonna tell you that now. Now, the only way I would say not to schedule, if you scored high like that, if you took it 3, 4, 5 times, and you started, but you remember the answer, because some people, that's what they do in a practice test. They remember the answers because they've taken so many practice tests and they take it multiple times that they remember the answer. Every time you take a practice exam, I need you to do the work. So now, if you know it, go through it quickly, make sure you verify that that's the answer by working it out. Because the only person you're going to cheat is yourself. Work through those problems. Because once you get to G, I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, oh, I got this. Oh, I can use the calculator on that. Bang, 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 bang. Like, for example, if you see a problem with 2 points and you got my ebook, you should laugh all the way to the bank. If they ask for the slope or the y-intercept, that's something you can do on the calculator that quick. Easily. If they give you a parallel and perpendicular, you should be able to tell that slope of that parallel, slope of that perpendicular quickly. If they give you a proportion, you should know how to do in that calculator quickly because you cross multiplication. Now to set it up clearly. And what you're going to do is you're working on your time. So let's try one more. Let's try a hard one. Let's try a hard one. But I can't, it's cutting it off. It's too much. Let me see if I can put it. Let me try to find one. Oops, not that one. You know what? I was one. Was it here? Let's do it. Let's do one more for the road. We're gonna do one more for the road. 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 I want to. That's why I should just use mine. I'm gonna just use mine. Linear equations. Let's do one more for the road. Where are we? Boom. Okay. We're gonna do that last problem. Minus 8x plus 3y equal 21. I want you to send me in the chat what the slope is by saying m equal and telling me the slope, and then send me the y-intercept with b equal and whatever the y-intercept is. So the last one before we leave tonight, I want you to find the slope and the y-intercept of the linear equation minus 8x plus 3y equal 21. Yeah. If you are new tonight, make sure you put your email in the chat. Make sure if you are new this evening that you put your email in the chat.
Did you get my my message, my email?
I wasn't. Would you just send it to tonight?
I sent it maybe 3 days ago.
3 days ago, and I didn't respond back.
No, you asked me about a test.
Oh, did you have your did you take your test? Because remember you had some issues taking it online, correct?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
Mm-mm.
You took it online or did you take it in person?
Oh, I took the actual test in person.
You took it in person.
Yes.
So you did take it.
Yes.
All right, so send me the score results.
I think I sent you all that.
You did? Let me see. I'm looking at your email. You said no, not yet.
And then I sent another message because I'm thinking you're talking about the test that you have with like your ebook.
Right. So I remember now. So what happened was you didn't buy the ebook. You didn't come to these sessions. You was on Facebook, and I reached out to you because you said you was taking your test soon, right?
Yes.
Okay, now I remember. So let's talk after this is all over.
Okay.
Okay. So minus 8x plus 3y equal 21. What's the slope and what's the y-intercept? And send me your answer in the chat. Let's see. So, oh, that's too small. I can't see the name. So that was Earl. No, not the equation of the line. I want the slope and the y-intercept. So I want you to write m equal and whatever you think the slope is. And then I want you to write b equal and whatever you think the y-intercept is. Okay. They already gave us the equation of the line. Now, you would be right if I said, give me the equation of the line in slope intercept form. You would be correct. But that's not what I asked here. I just want the slope and the y-intercept. And I don't have my phone on me, so I can't put my timer on. My phone is downstairs. What's the slope and y-intercept of the linear equation minus 8x plus 3y equal 21? Randy, your slope is incorrect and your y-intercept is incorrect. But this is why we're here, to show you the mistakes that you make, because I'd rather you make your mistakes here than on your exam.
How do I do, Mr. Tinsley?
Your slope is correct. Your y-intercept is correct. And if you hit the equation slope-intercept, that would be correct. So we got Kelly, Penny, Claudette, Laura. Got a bunch of people. I got like 12 people. All these. Who else? Ned already passed. He don't have to answer. He's done. Did I say Laura? I'm not sure. All right. So we got about 30 seconds left. We'll give you about 30 seconds. It's already 7:12. 15 seconds. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. No problem, Laura. No problem. You don't have to apologize. That's why we're here. Okay. So remember, again, there's two forms I want you to be familiar with. Does anybody know what form of a linear equation this is? Does anybody know the standard form?
Standard
AX.
form, AX.
Good. So standard form. And right under it, AX plus BY equals C. This is what's important. Once you identify standard form, you need to identify each of the coefficients. So A is what?
A.
Not
Negative
eight.
8.
Negative 8. B is what?
3y.
No. What's in front of the y? What's the coefficient?
Is it 3?
3. And what's C?
21.
21. So when you can identify A, B, and C is very important, because I'm going to give you the easiest way to find a slope and y-intercept. To find a slope, you take the opposite of A and put it over B. So if A is negative 8, what's the opposite of negative 8?
8,
8. What's B?
3.
3. So the slope of this line is what?
8 over 3.
8 over 3. That easy. Opposite of A, if it's in standard form, opposite of A, put it over B, that's your slope. That's how easy you should be able to find a slope if you're given a linear equation in standard form. To find the y-intercept is C over B. What's C?
21.
21. What's B?
3.
3.
3. What's 21 divided by 3?
7.
7.
7. So your y-intercept is 7. So your slope was 8/3. Your y-intercept is 7. Now, if you want to write this equation in slope-intercept form, what would it be? Anybody know?
MX plus B.
Y equal mx plus b, but what's m?
8 over 3.
8 over 3,
X
x, and what's b?
plus 7.
There you go. y equal 8/3 x plus 7. So remember, a linear equation can be in different forms. They might not give it to you the same way on exam. You have to be ready for standard form and slope intercept form. You have to be ready. Okay, so it's 7:15. Any questions before we leave this evening?
I just want to say thank you for all your dedication and all your good work, sir.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna still keep up with you now.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
All right, later, everyone. Later, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Everybody have a good evening. And Brandy, make sure you stay on.
Mr. Tinsley,
Yes.
you want me to take another Schoology practice test, right?
Listen, I don't even know why you asked me that. I got
Okay.
10 of them now.
Okay. Is it any particular one or just take any one?
You can take any one you feel like working on.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Tinsley.
You're so welcome. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Brandy,
Yes.
so you took it in person. I need you to send me your score report.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Are you sure you want to be able to see it through the email?
No, so what you're gonna do is I'm gonna send you instructions how to send it to me.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And then we work on that. So I also have a free course, a free math course. So let me stop sharing, and I don't need to. I can stop